Before we call tonight's meeting to order, just to let everybody know that Councilman Steve Schutt's not going to be in attendance. Apparently got in trouble with at the airport or something. He says he was detained, so I hope there wasn't a strip search involved. In political gadfly, Jerry Kellogg won't be here this evening either because of bronchitis, so we wish him speedy recovery. Anyway, in case Burger City Council will come to order. I invite everyone to stand and join us with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, first item on the agenda this evening is a proclamation in recognition of National Public Works Week. Normally I'd get up and stroll around to the front and make Brian get up and do a little tap dance for everybody, but we've got a big agenda this evening, and I talked to Brian, and he said he didn't wear his dancing shoes this evening anyway. I don't want to make light of the fact that it's National Public Works Week. We've got Brian here, we've got Tim here from Public Works. David Green is here this evening in a different capacity, but he was longtime Public Works Director. What the Public Works does for us here in our city is largely unseen, and the kind of planning and thought that goes into the decisions that are made for the Public Works is pretty extensive. That being the case, whereas the many services provided by Public Works to our community are an integral part of our citizens' everyday lives, and whereas the support of an understanding and informed citizenry is vital to the efficient operation of public works systems and programs such as water treatment and distribution, sanitary sewer collection and treatment, streets and highways and stormwater, and whereas the health, safety, economic vitality, and comfort of this community greatly depends on these facilities and services, and whereas the quality and effectiveness of these services, as well as their planning, design, and construction of public facilities and utilities is vitally dependent upon the efforts and skills of Public Works representatives, and whereas the efficiency of the qualified and dedicated personnel who staff Public Works departments is materially influenced by the public attitude and understanding of the importance of the work they perform. Now, therefore, be it resolved, I, Chris Morrow, Mayor of Gardner, on behalf of the City Council and City of Gardner, do hereby proclaim the week of May 18th through the 24th, 2014, National Public Works Week in the City of Gardner. And I call upon all citizens and civic organizations to acquaint themselves with the issues involved in providing quality public works services and to recognize the contributions which Public Works representatives make every day to our health, safety, comfort, and quality of life, not only this week, but throughout the year. So, Brian, to you, Tim, your staff, thank you very much. Next on the agenda this evening will be public comments. Members of the public are welcome to use this time to make comments about city matters or items on the agenda that are not part of a public hearing. We do have a public hearing scheduled this evening as new business item number 1, so if you're coming to make public comments at the beginning, please make sure that they are not in relation to new business item number 1, which is regarding the 2015 Community Development Block Grant application. That being the case, If you'd like to make public comments, please come forward, state your name and address for the record, and be heard.
Hello again, Council. My name is Rich Melton. I live at 521 East Hawthorne, and I'm here for the same thing I was here for the last time. We still have Councilman Fodovich moved down to Olathe. I know that Bruce Hughes had said that censure was probably the only thing that really could be done towards Councilman Fodovich. So tonight I thought I would offer Council exactly what censure is, in case anyone's unclear. The express severe disapproval of someone or something, typically in a formal statement. The expression of formal disapproval would be the second definition. So I guess if someone on council would introduce a motion of censure, it would really help those of us in Gardner who plan to vote in the next election, let everyone else know how the rest of council feels about what Larry's doing. So I appreciate your time, council. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
Thank you, Rich.
Good evening. My name is Bruce Hughes. I live at 322 East Colleen Drive here in Gardner. I'd echo a lot of what Rich said, but I'd ask specifically of the council members, because I know I wrote to each and every one of you as well as the mayor. I heard from some of you. Some of you ignored me. Some of you who did respond were willing to say privately what they think in terms of how they feel about Councilman Fodovich and his current position of clinging on to his job despite living in Olathe. However, nobody seems willing to make a public statement. To me, that's political cowardice. And I challenge each of you to actually make a public statement to Larry publicly. Doing elsewise, you're just asking him to take your silence as, yeah, go ahead, I approve. And that's what you're telling us. That's what you're telling the rest of the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Bruce. With no one else coming forward, is there a council member present that would like to remove an item from the consent agenda? If not, I would entertain a motion.
I move we approve the consent agenda.
Second. Motion Harrison, second Freeman, that we approve the consent agenda. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Consent agenda is approved. New business item number 1. Conduct a public hearing regarding the 2015 Community Development Block Grant application. Mike Hall, good evening.
Thank you. Both items 1 and item 2 concern the Community Development Block Grant application. And I'll just be making a single presentation in the beginning. The first item is to hold a public hearing, to open it up for a public hearing. The second item is actually to authorize the mayor to sign the application. Before I go on, I just want to point out that the deadline for the application is this week, actually. It's May 23rd. And so it's important to act at tonight's meeting. The Community Development Block Grant Program has been a federal program since 1974. Johnson County receives funds directly from the federal government and then administers these funds through an application process. Administers these funds to cities through the application process. The program, the application requires that the governing body hold a public hearing and that the application be approved by the governing body. Funding limits. $100,000 is the limit for an annual application. A city may apply for $200,000, but then it would not be able to apply in the subsequent year. So it's essentially $100,000 for a single year and then $200,000 that would have to carry you through 2 years. There are different paths to being eligible for a community development block grant. Benefit to low and moderate income persons, or prevent or eliminate slum and blight, or meet an urgent need. The city's opportunity here is only under really the first one, and that's the benefit to low to moderate income persons. This map shows the block groups in the city that are eligible. All the ones that are shown in colored are eligible. The area in white, just to give you some orientation, in the middle is west of Center Street, between Center Street and Waverly Road, 159th on the north and 191st on the south. Should point out too that this program uses 2000 census data. That seems a little strange because the city has certainly changed a lot since 2000, but that's what they use for the program, determine eligibility. So, a little more about the application and the outreach. The city published a notice of this hearing in the Gardner News, both the online version and the print version, beginning April 30th. The city also held an open house on May 6th. This was advertised in the Gardner News. On the online version, it was lightly attended. The application before you is for a $100,000 grant with a $20,000 city match. $10,000 of the $20,000 is in kind, meaning it's not a direct cash outlay. It's for services the city would provide itself. The application is for the reconstruction of sidewalks and sidewalk ramps in a way that would comply with Americans with Disabilities Act guidelines. The purpose of the application is to improve pedestrian access to services and community events. To that end, it is for areas in and around downtown, but it does serve the residential areas close into downtown. Upon receiving the grant, staff will identify, select, and design sidewalk and ramp repairs. So the project area, this is a map of that area. It's bound